Hello everyone, come on in and sit a spell and I'll teach you how to make what we call biscuit bread. And the recipe is a strange one that my husband and his family all used to eat when they were growing up because they were very poor and they wanted something sweet, and usually all that was around was biscuit bread or biscuits. But biscuit bread is just an easy way to make, kind of like biscuits, but it's real fast and simple. So that's most of the time what they had was biscuit bread. And they would sit around and think, I sure am hungry and I'd like to have something other than soup beans. On these days, they wanted something sweet. So usually, if nothing else, there would be a little bit of sugar in the house. So, their mother always had biscuits and cornbread. So, or biscuit bread and cornbread. So they would go get them some biscuit bread, and they would get the old coffee. They always used a percolator, if you know what that was, in a pot, big pot, and had it brewing so it would stay all day. But when it got, down later and got strong and nobody wanted it anymore, they would turn it off the heat, and then it would cool, and it would just sit there till, next morning or whatever. Well, if it was any of the coffee left, they would take that biscuit bread and they would take them some coffee and pour over that. And on top of that, they would put some sugar and stir it all up real good, and just sort of have it like that. That coffee would make their biscuit bread soft, and then the sugar would make it sweet. And that was kind of a poor man's sweet, I guess you would say. And so they eat that often. One of the brothers, Roger, he liked it. He liked it very good. But the other brothers, they would just do it, probably eat it if they were desperate for wanting something sweet and there wasn't nothing else around, which was a lot of the time. They didn't have a lot of sweet stuff around very often. Show you how to make the biscuit bread. And tell you what I have to have. I've done showed you. I'm just going to use some self-rising flour. I'm just going to put maybe 2 cups in it, and then I've got some homemade buttermilk. Now the way it's homemade is it is just milk that has runned on me, and it has been. I set it out to let it clabber a little bit to thicken up some, and that makes buttermilk. Same thing. Of course, you can't drink it. I wouldn't drink it, but it's good to make your cornbread and your biscuit bread or biscuits in. So I had some of that left, and I said, well, I'm going to use it just because I need to get rid of it, and because I'm running low on buttermilk anyways, and I might need, we're snowed in here sort of, and so I might need to make me a pound of cornbread, and I need to use my buttermilk for that. Let's get this started. So I've got some flour. And I'm gonna pour me some of this buttermilk in here. Now, when I make biscuit bread, and I don't know if they did or not, I don't believe their mother ever put whole lard in it. They just put melted lard in it. So that's what I've got. Now I'm using my cast iron skillet, but I usually use a pan, but I'm gonna use my cast iron skillet that I usually make my biscuits in. So that little bit of lard, see, that also greased up my pan. And I've got my oven on 400. So this is what it looks like. If you can see it down in there, I've got my melted lard and my buttermilk and my flour, and we're gonna see what it looks like here in a minute. Now, biscuit bread is usually, you know, you don't make it real, you don't put flour on it where it's smooth and stuff. It can be a little runny even. What I put in here, might have been a little over 2 cups of flour, because it's almost took my little pint of homemade buttermilk to mix it up. But this is what it looks like. You see how runny it is? I'm not gonna put no flour on it, pat it out, do none of that stuff. I am just going to put it in my skillet. So let me show you how to do that. All right. Now you see my skillet. Ow, it's hot. See my skillet. And then I'm going to just pour this in here. See, you know, it's not real runny, but it's not good and firm either. When you make biscuit bread, you just sort of guess at it anyway. You just throw it together. Like I do a lot of stuff, you just sort of throw it together, and it still tastes good. And you know, back then, when they was making biscuit bread, which I still sometimes make biscuit bread, I really like biscuit bread with my soup beans sometimes. It's just different. So there it is, and we're gonna put it in the oven, and I'll tell you how long to bake it in a few minutes. I think about 20 minutes or so, and then we'll get it out, and then we'll try some of that old coffee. I got some old coffee over there I made this morning. It's cold, and we'll give it a go. Look at my biscuit bread. I just almost burnt the top of it. I put it on broil for just a minute on high instead of low, and about did, but when I turn it over, it's gonna look good. You see that? Looks good, don't it? Gonna be good and crunchy and crispy. See, look. Wait a minute. Find something to cut it with. See how good that is? Nothing wrong with that. That's light biscuit. Look here. When I do this, look at that. Isn't that a good looking piece of biscuit bread? Now I'm gonna chop that up, but break it up into my cup, and then I'm going to try me some coffee and sugar. I haven't tried that in a long time, many years actually, when Danny's mother was still living, which is 20-something years ago. So, and that was just because they were trying it and I wanted to see what it tasted like. Okay, got my hot little piece of biscuit bread here. Ow, that's hot. I'll put it in here. Now probably when they were eating their biscuit bread, it was probably cold because it's been there all day and all that. But mine just came out of the oven. So I'm going to just do it like this. It'll be all right. I'm gonna pour me a little sugar on here. I gotta clean this sugar container. It's about empty. It's stuck. I'm gonna have to soak it a while. So I put me some sugar down in there. I don't know how much. I just poured me some. If it's not sweet enough, then I'll put more. Now, see if I can drop this down here where you can see it. See that? Like my cup. Very proud of that cup. Took me 25, 26 years of working to say that I could retire. And I'm very, very proud to be retired. Don't regret that decision one bit. So here we go. This is coffee, cold coffee, and biscuit bread, and sugar. Needs a little more sugar. But I can see why they liked it when they were needing something sweet. Yet I don't think it's my favorite thing in the world, but yeah, it's better. More sugar in it. Better. That's something that you need to try if you're sitting around and maybe haven't been to the grocery store and you're needing to, you know, have something sweet and don't have anything, and you've been snowed in and you got those things, or you just want to try something that the poor Appalachians used to do when they were desperate for something sweet. It's mostly just for memory for the lambs, that if they get to see this, I wanted to remind them of when they used to eat their mother Charles's biscuit bread and coffee and sugar. So I thought of that. They were very poor, and they didn't care. They didn't even know they were poor, but they liked to sit around in the wintertime especially, you know. Summertime you got fruit and stuff. Wintertime you don't really have fruit. And so they would sit around and eat this, and it would satisfy their little sweet tooth. And so I love the lambs very much. We've all just been raised together, and been with them a long time. Been married to Danny almost 43 years. And so I was a kid and they were a kid. And now we've grown old together. And love them just like I would brothers. They were all brothers. And I love them all just like having a brother. I never did have any siblings. So I can say I have plenty of them though now. So y'all come back and see me. This is Country Sherry 23, and I'll try to have you some more stuff real soon. Thank you.